No one wants the exaggerated legend to overshadow the real Charlie Kirk, because the man behind the headlines was far more complex than the media ever showed. Once painted as the sharp-tongued young debater who dominated college stages, that image was only the surface. Now, with the shocking twists involving Lance Twiggs and that surprise indictment, the story suddenly feels much bigger. A secret has been sitting in plain sight all along, and right at the center of it is Charlie Kirk's wife. Once seen as a symbol of grief, she's now the calm in the chaos, or maybe the storm itself. She isn't just the heartbroken widow anymore. She's become a critical piece in a scandal spiraling out of control. As whispers turned to wild theories, the internet went nuclear. Comments, think pieces, podcasts, everyone had a take. And then came Candace Owens. She didn't arrive to talk. She came to detonate. Every sentence she spoke hit like a spark on gasoline, forcing the world to stop scrolling and start doubting. From that moment on, it wasn't about what happened to Charlie Kirk anymore. It was about the woman beside him and the secrets she might be protecting. Could the betrayal have been smiling right next to him, perfectly unseen until it was too late? But before diving into the storm called Candace Owens, we have to rewind to the night everything went dark. The night Charlie Kirk disappeared from the spotlight, because what unfolded next wasn't random, and it sure wasn't messy. Every glance, every pause, every clue, it all seemed scripted, all pointing toward the people Charlie once trusted the most. September 10th, 2015. At Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk was in his element, commanding the stage, locked in a fiery debate while the crowd thundered in approval. TikTok and X were already blowing up with live clips, the kind that make a career or destroy one. Security? Barely there. A few guards, a handful of plainclothes officers, and Charlie's own team. The sky was clear, the stage wide open, nothing between him and the world. And then, without warning, the unthinkable happened. The roar turned to silence. For a few seconds, time froze. Then chaos detonated. Screams ripped through the air, people dove for cover, and phones flew up to capture what no one could process. In an instant, Charlie Kirk vanished from the light, leaving millions gasping in disbelief. The footage spread faster than rumor itself, from Utah Valley to every feed on Earth. That night became the internet's biggest unsolved mystery. The frenzy didn't stop there. By 12:47 a.m., the hospital confirmed the nightmare. Charlie Kirk was gone. The suspect? Tyler Robinson, 22, from St. George, an electrical engineering dropout who, police say, turned himself in 33 hours later in Provo after his own family begged him to surrender. Evidence spilled out fast. A Mauser 98 rifle wrapped in a towel found near the woods, DNA on the trigger matching Tyler, and shell casings engraved with meme symbols and cryptic messages aimed at Charlie. His online posts were darker, Discord logs dripping with anger over Charlie's stance on LGBTQ+ issues. The FBI rushed to label it a lone wolf attack. No accomplices, no conspiracy. By September 16th, Tyler Robinson faced a storm of felony charges. Murder, weapons violations, obstruction, even child endangerment. But if you think that's where the story ends, think again. That's where it really starts to unravel. Many noticed something chilling. Tyler Robinson seemed to know Charlie Kirk's every move. His schedule, his routes, even his so-called escape plan. Prosecutors waved off the conspiracies, insisting everything about Charlie's events was public knowledge. But come on, how does an ordinary college dropout get intel that precise? The footage made it worse. Tyler wasn't panicking. He wasn't sloppy. He moved like a man who'd practiced this moment. Former Kirk ally Candace Owens went on her podcast and said exactly what everyone was thinking. No untrained kid pulls that off. This wasn't random, it was rehearsed. She demanded answers. Why no surveillance plane? Why no guard on the roof? UVU Police Chief Jeff Long sheepishly admitted there were, well, preparation gaps. Translation, they messed up. Then came the sealed ballistics report, and suddenly everything smelled off. Just 6 days after the shooting, prosecutors rushed an indictment. 7 felony charges, an avalanche of evidence, from texts and DNA to lab reports and shaky witness statements. They insisted Tyler acted alone, a radicalized loner who lost control. His mother backed the obsession story. The FBI closed the file, canceled the reward, and Governor Spencer Cox called it a tragic case of extremism. Case closed, right? Wrong. Witnesses claimed the weapon didn't match. They saw a sleek modern rifle, not the antique Mauser 98 police paraded around. The photos were blurry, a few accidentally damaged in transit. A leaked memo confirmed it. And those missing rooftop cameras? The FBI called it a blind spot. Candace Owens called it something else. A blackout conveniently timed. Since then, Tyler's been a ghost. No media, no interviews, just a court hearing scheduled for October 30th. His defense lawyers tease major findings, but stay quiet. Candace won't. She insists Tyler was a pawn, that the real power players are still out there, untouchable. Meanwhile, Erica Kirk, Charlie's composed widow and the new TPUSA CEO, appeared at the hospital hours later, two children by her side. Her tone, calm, controlled, unshaken. The camera lights hit her face, and she didn't flinch. Charlie fought for his faith, and now he's met his savior. Those were the words Erica Kirk spoke with surgical calm at the Kennedy Center vigil, standing tall under blinding lights, thanking first responders, and promising to carry on her husband's mission. It was a commanding moment, but not everyone was convinced. No tears, no trembling, just icy composure that felt almost rehearsed. Then came the silence. Her once bubbly social media, filled with family photos and beach smiles, went dark. Until one day, boom, her first post since Charlie's death. "You have no idea what fire you lit in this woman." The internet lost its mind. 1.2 million shares later, hashtags like "Buy Erica Knows" and "Die Kirk Cover-Up" were everywhere. Was it courage or a warning shot? No one could tell. Neighbors in Arizona began whispering. Late night shouting from the Kirk mansion. Fights about money, big money. One even swore they heard talk of millions missing from TPUSA funds. The family rift was undeniable. Sources close to the Kirks said Charlie's parents had cut off Erica completely, claiming her grief seemed too polished to be real. Some insiders defended her, saying she was simply shielding her kids from the chaos. But others pointed to something colder, her total silence about their marriage. No anecdotes, no warmth, nothing personal. At the State Farm Stadium Memorial, Erica's speech only deepened the divide. She praised Charlie's faith, his patriotism, his political allies, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, but not once mentioned their love or their life together. The internet erupted. "She's reading a teleprompter, not eulogizing her husband." One post went viral. In that moment, Erica Kirk stopped being a grieving widow and became a living contradiction. Stoic, graceful, and utterly unreadable. And then, Candace Owens stormed back into the spotlight. A hurricane in heels, once TPUSA's fiery director of urban engagement. She'd been pushed out years earlier for being too extreme. But in 2025, she made her comeback, now a global podcast titan, sitting just below Charlie's old ranking on Spotify. This time, she wasn't here to mourn. She was here to ignite. Candace didn't just grieve Charlie. She launched a full-blown tear-soaked battle. On her podcast, she insisted, Charlie wasn't the arrogant fool everyone assumed. He was warm, hilarious, and brutally honest. She shared a collage of candid behind-the-scenes moments of the two laughing, hustling, dreaming big. No filters, no edits, just the raw Charlie. The post exploded past 3 million views, revealing the real Charlie Kirk, melting fans' hearts and silencing the critics. But Candace wasn't done. During an Instagram Live, she broke down, voice trembling, claiming the official story is fishy. This wasn't a lone kid act. Someone guided him. Someone knew the blind spots, and the FBI jumped too quickly. Then she dropped the ultimate bombshell. Charlie was betrayed by the one lying beside him. No names, yet the internet erupted. Theories went wild. Thousands of videos dissected Erica Kirk's every gesture at the funeral, every glance, every smirk. Hashtags like "Darn Erica Knows," "Erica Betrayal," "Candace's Truth" flooded feeds. Candace's supporters praised her for speaking for the dead. Critics screamed clickbait danger. Either way, the storm had been brewing. And at its eye, Erica Kirk. In a world where every second of exposure can shape reality, silence can hit harder than confession. A slick TikTok went viral. Candace's voice dubbed over Erica Kirk's prayer, delivering cinematic drama. When Erica says, "My pain is my strength," Candace's voice shouts, "I will not let the real Charlie Kirk be buried by lies." The clip hit 5 million views in 24 hours, casting the widow and the old friend as opposite ends of the same explosive tale. Candace isn't subtle anymore. On the next podcast episode, she names Bill a man, a billionaire pulling strings in politics and media, claiming he pressured Charlie in a Hamptons meeting to soften his tough Israel. That, Candace claims, was the exact moment Charlie's world started collapsing. Billman fired back almost instantly. On X, formerly Twitter, he shared private messages with Charlie, gushing about friendship and respect. No threats, just friendly banter, he insisted. But for Candace, each denial only fueled her fire. "If you're truly innocent, you don't have to prove it," she said in a follow-up clip. When Netanyahu got dragged into the chaos, the Israeli PM denied involvement. But that just made Candace more certain she was on a sensitive trail. She didn't stop there. Candace turned her spotlight on Lance Twiggs, Tyler's ex and the prime suspect. Twiggs, a transgender man, told cops Tyler was obsessed with Charlie, but had no proof of a conspiracy. Candace sniffed through the neat statement and called foul. Why the silence from Twiggs? Why is Tyler hiding? Who ordered their lips sealed? Her questions lit social media on fire. When Erica Kirk skipped the September 20th memorial, Candace sat live, eyes blazing. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Vivek Ramaswamy spoke that day, but not a word about Candace's claims. Meanwhile, TPUSA insiders murmured that Charlie and Erica had drifted apart long ago, Erica's reckless views straining their bond. Pastor Rob McCoy backed Erica, claiming Charlie didn't want conflict. Laura Loomer called Candace an attention-hungry lunatic, but Candace didn't flinch. "Never let anyone stop you from asking questions," she shot back. Meanwhile, the Charlie Kirk Memorial at State Farm Stadium, meant to unite, became a battlefield. Tucker Carlson called Charlie a warrior of faith, but ended with a chilling line. "Some truths will die with him." The silence? Suffocating. Half the audience frozen. The rest whispering online. X instantly morphed into a conspiracy carnival, with hashtags like Kirk cosplay and Race for Legacy flying everywhere. Andrew Kovic, interim head of TPUSA, had to intervene. This isn't just a power vacuum. It's a faith vacuum. Because as prayers are remixed and Charlie Kirk's name becomes a symbol of influence, the truth slips further from reach. What started as a difference of opinion has exploded into a public feud. Two factions now dominate social media and conservative circles. Loyalists to Erica Kirk, TPUSA's tenacious widow and new CEO, and truth seekers rallying behind Candace Owens, convinced Charlie didn't die that way. The Kirk family, once a poster of faith and unity, is fractured. Charlie's parents refuse to attend any Erica-hosted events. A family friend claims they feel excluded and privately question Erica's financial stewardship since taking over. Rumors of missing millions in TPUSA funds swirl. Candace naturally hints at the vanished money, no proof needed. Just whispers ignite the internet. Major commentators begged for calm. Glenn Beck added, "What Charlie wants most is unity, not doubt." Yet smaller podcasters hungry for attention rallied behind Candace. They dropped episodes with clickbait titles, "What TPUSA Doesn't Want You to Know," and "The Woman Behind the Chair of Power." The more critics attacked Candace, the more her followers believed. Then, as if scripted for chaos, Joe Rogan, usually silent on politics, spoke up. On a podcast, he casually said, "In broad daylight in front of hundreds, no one saw anything. Weird." Boom. Social media erupted. Utah cover-up trended globally in under 3 hours. Fans, independent journalists, politicians weighed in. A single question became a storm. Millions doubting the official story. Candace pounced. She dropped a new video. "Let's talk about the real Charlie Kirk." Her voice slow, deliberate. Not the caricature, not the brash debater media loves, but the man who built TPUSA at 18. A college dropout daring to challenge a system no one else touched. She painted Charlie out of the spotlight. Funny, warm, stubbornly loyal. Someone who could laugh through pressure, sit for hours guiding a confused student questioning his beliefs. "That's the man they're erasing from your memory," Candace said, tears streaming but voice trembling. She shared a collage of photos, Charlie and her backstage in TEASE's early days, smiling, scribbling strategic notes in marker. Unedited, no stage lights, pure authenticity. The post went viral. Over 6 million views in 12 hours, flooded with touching comments from people who met Charlie. One wrote, 2018, he came to our school. He didn't just speak, he prayed with us. Another said, Charlie posed with every single fan. That was him. The posts unleashed a wave of memories, hundreds shared old photos, clips, messages. They called it the real Charlie. Candace captioned it, they can control the narrative, but not the memories. She insisted her fight wasn't against Erica, but to protect the true Charlie, the man she knew and trusted. Yet the public no longer saw it simply. With every word Candace spoke, people split. Was she fighting truth or leveraging grief for power? Meanwhile, Erica stayed silent. No reply, no comment. Silence, of course, fueled the fire. Candace closed with a chilling line. If you ever met Charlie, you know he's fearless, justice-driven, and justice never stays silent. The video ends on a black and white photo of Charlie smiling. Quiet piano in the background. Social media paused, then erupted. Real Charlie Kirk climbed worldwide. This story transcended an incident. It became a clash between memory and power, image and reality. At the storm's center, Candace Owens held the mic. Meanwhile, Erica Kirk's tributes were cold, calculated, and controlled. At a memorial, she praised Charlie's mission, faith, America, the spirit of Trump-era movement, but said nothing of Charlie the man, father, partner. No personal memories, not one detail of their life together. Viewers noticed immediately. A viral X post nailed it. Candace showed us Charlie, the real person. Erica showed us Charlie, the brand. That sentence sliced the public in two. On one side, Erica, elegance, restraint, power. On the other, Candace, a blaze of rebellion, raw emotion, fearlessness. This split sparked a quiet war in conservative circles. By October 142, it was clear. This isn't a single incident anymore. It's a war for truth. Candace Owens, wielding her digital army across X, TikTok, and her podcast, constantly fires questions. Who directed Tyler? Why are there blind spots in security? Why is Erica Kirk so calm? Every query is remixed, edited, viral. One recent live stream became legendary. Candace slammed her fist on the table, stared into the camera. This conclusion was pre-planned. Tyler was just a pawn in a bigger game. The statement spread like wildfire. Videos dissected every word, glance, hand movement, even Erica's gestures at press conferences. Critics of Candace's conspiracy theories began nodding. Something's off. The FBI stayed silent, refusing comment on security system gaps or sealed autopsy results. That silence didn't calm anyone. It fueled skepticism. Meanwhile, Erica Kirk marched on. No disputes, no counterpoints. She attended a TPUSA gala, first since Charlie's death. 2 children beside her. Yellow spotlight highlighting her serene face. The camera lingered on her hands, steady, no tremor. Charlie dedicated his life to his cause. I will continue that mission, she said, voice firm, even, measured. Not for controversy, but for faith. The audience stood, applauded. But online, among tweets, short clips, comments, faith was invisible. People felt only a void, a stark emptiness between a woman in total control of her image and those desperate for authenticity. Candace struck while the iron was hot. Soon after the gala, she posted a side-by-side of Erica's speech and Charlie's prayers. 2 voices, one warm, one cold, 2 worlds that will never meet. Candace's caption, 4 words brutal in their honesty. The video exploded, 12 million views in 36 hours, reigniting the rift between 2 women who once shared a stage, a mission, a belief, now representing competing legacies. One reason, one pain. In the middle, Charlie Kirk's name endures, not as a figure but a mystery. A viral post sent tremors. Erica Kirk's speech seemed rehearsed. Her tweet, "My fire burns brighter," read as self-aggrandizing, not mourning. Family tensions leaked. Charlie's parents avoided Erica. In-laws whispered over finances. Candace seized it, hinting at TPUSA's murky books. Evidence? None. Chaos online? Absolute. So what's the truth? Officially, Tyler, an isolated figure, acted alone. Texts, data, technical proof, all lined up. But blind spots, missing footage, and Erica's silence screamed questions. Candace's a man theory? Unproven. Texts between Amon and Charlie were friendly. Charlie had softened his 24 politics tone, but not his own convictions. Rumor has it Erica might be the mastermind. No charges exist, yet Tyler looks like a pawn. The reality, messier than anyone admits. Charlie's death exposed a movement reliant on his charisma. Without him, power shifted, scrambled. Erica held control. Candace struck. Already divided supporters saw conspiracies in every shadow. X and TikTok churned grief into a hurricane. Everyone a detective, but nobody has the full story. October 30th hearing pivotal. Candace won't quit. Erica won't crumble. TPU's shaken. The Kirk family fractured. America watches a movement wobble. Is Candace chasing truth or riding her own rage? Erica's calm. A mask or a mother's strength? Tyler, a lone wolf or pawn in a grander scheme? What's your take? Comment below. Justice for Charlie. This isn't the end, it's a reckoning's dawn. Like, share, subscribe. The truth is still waiting to break. Like, share, subscribe. The truth is still waiting to break.